Hi everyone and welcome to the live session on community colleges. My name is Ina Gabulan. I am Education USA advisor from Yerevan, Armenia, and I am the moderator of this session. In this session, we are going to speak about community colleges as another pathway for starting higher education in the USA. I know that many students from our region cannot find this study program, or as we say, 2+2 education system or associate degree in their local higher education system, but this is very common for US students to continue their education just after the high school. Let's see what can be the benefits for international students to attend US community colleges. For this very important session, I have great guest speakers from different community colleges and I want to let's introduce them. So, Carol Mand is an international student advisor at St. Paul College. Having worked for 20 years with the international
Mhm.
students from all over the world, she has a passion for assisting international students reach their educational and career goals. Carol is the main point of contact for all F1 visa issues, international student admissions, and international student orientation. Hi, Carol.
Yes. Hi,
Thanks for
everyone.
joining.
Yes.
Our
Thank you for
next
having me.
Great. Our next speaker is Maya Scavone. She has been the program director of the MiraCosta College International Office for 22 years. She is
Mhm.
responsible for international student outreach, admissions, and international student services. She has also worked in international admissions at four-year universities and can provide a comparison on the college experience for undergraduate students. Hi, Maya. Thanks for joining us
Hi,
today.
nice to be here. Thank you.
Our next guest speaker is Rachel Good. She's an assistant director of international education and study abroad at Olympic College, where she oversees recruitment, outreach, marketing, and admissions for international students. She has been at Olympic College for 2 years and loves helping students pursue their educational goals in the US. Hi, Rachel.
Hi, it's
Thank
great to be
you.
here.
Thank you very much for joining us today. I know that for many of you it is very early Saturday morning, but you are here to meet with our students and give them more information. Thank you very much. While we are starting our discussion, I want to also inform our viewers that they can chat all the questions that they have in chat box, and during the discussion, we will answer all those questions, right? Okay, so let's start with a brief introduction of your colleges. So, Carol, can you please start with introducing us St. Paul College?
Oh, yes, sure. I'd be happy to. So, Inna, thank you so much for that introduction and welcome to all of the students, parents, friends, colleagues out there listening from all different time zones. Yes, it's very early, 6:30 in the morning
Oh,
for me right now. My cat is sleeping beside me right now. So my name is Carol Meant. I am the International Student Advisor at St. Paul College. And St. Paul College is a public college, a public community college located in St. Paul, Minnesota. Minnesota is a state in the upper Midwest, the middle of the country, but more towards the north. The name St. Paul College is from the city of St. Paul. It's not to do with the religious St. Paul. A lot of people ask me that. um, and we do offer 53 different associate degree programs. So we have Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, and Associate of Applied Science in 53 different majors. We also have 13 different universities with a guaranteed conditional admission program or articulation agreements. And we also have a guaranteed pathway to the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, which a lot of students do like to go to because it's also a very good university, and it's right in what we call the Twin Cities. Both St. Paul and Minneapolis together is called the Twin Cities, a cities together of about 1 million people in population. All international students at St. Paul College pay the same tuition as our American students, so we do not charge an out-of-state tuition rate for our international students, which is a great advantage, a financial advantage for our international students. Our class sizes are small, as is the case with most community colleges. We specialize in the learner and small classroom sizes. Usually there's not more than 20 or 25 students per class, no matter what class you're taking. I am the dedicated international student advisor, so I will help you through all the admissions, the initial I-20, the orientation, and then all of your visa advising while you're here. St. Paul College currently has 83 international students, and our program is growing. I do expect to probably have at least another 20 in the spring, and I would be happy to answer any questions that you have about St. Paul College.
Okay, thank you very much. And Rachel, please introduce us Olympic College.
Hi, everyone. And thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you so much for hosting this session. I'm really excited to be here and just share more about all of the great benefits of U.S. community colleges, and of course, answer any questions that you might have. So as Anna mentioned, my name is Rachel Good. I am the Assistant Director of International Education and Study Abroad at Olympic College. We are located in the beautiful state of Washington, and we are near the city of Seattle. So we are on the west coast of the United States. We are north of the state of California, and we are near the border with Canada. So that region of the United States is called the Pacific Northwest. It's a beautiful place to live. We have lots of mountains and water, and it's just a beautiful place to be. So I love it, and I hope that if you decide to join us here, you will love it as well. So Olympic College is a public 2-year community college that was founded in 1946. We have about 5,000 full-time students, and we offer over 70 different associate degrees for university transfer. We also do have an intensive English program, and we have a high school completion program, which means we do accept students at the age of 16 for a dual enrollment high school completion and associate degree program. We have about 25 different transfer agreements with really great colleges and universities in the United States, which means, as Anna mentioned previously, that is the 2+2 program that a lot of both international and domestic students do take advantage of. Some of our most popular ones, we have transfer agreements with Washington State University, University of Washington, Tacoma, Arizona State University, University of California, Northridge, and many others. We also do have international transfer agreements. So, for example, we have agreements with universities in the United Kingdom, in France, in Japan, in Canada, and in Australia. So, you do have the opportunity to get a truly kind of global educational experience with us. Our most popular programs, I would say, are, subjects like business, engineering, computer science, chemistry, biology, and we also have a great nursing program. So a lot of great programs to offer. A few other kind of unique things about Olympic College. We do have on-campus housing available. So we have an on-campus residence hall, and we also have a homestay program for students. We also, because of our intensive English program, we don't require IELTS or TOEFL or any English proficiency scores in order to have entry directly into that intensive English program. So if you are looking for a pathway into college or university, that's a great place to start. And then, as Carol mentioned previously, the benefits of community college financially, our costs are about a third of what you would pay going to a university. Our tuition is right a little bit less than $10,000 USD per year. So, if you compare that with universities, a lot of times universities can be upwards of $30,000, $40,000 per year. So starting at a community college is a great way to really save a lot of money and get the same quality of education that you would be getting at university. So again, I'm very excited to be here, very excited to answer any questions that you might have. Please, type any questions that you have, and we're happy to answer those. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rachel, very much. Maya, now is your turn to introduce you as your college.
Thank you very much. And thanks to my colleagues, I've already learned so much. I know Rachel and I, it's 4:30 in the morning, our time. So I'd love to be able to show you our beautiful weather here, but it's dark and gray to not be able to show you. But I am happy to welcome you. I have enjoyed this event so far. I have received so many great questions from students. So I know that our conversation today will be very good. Again, my name is Mia, and I am reaching you from Oceanside, California today. And that is close to San Diego and about 123 kilometers from Los Angeles. This is a beautiful, peaceful beach community about 10 minutes away from the beach. Students enjoy our location because of this safe and friendly college environment. Our name MiraCosta is actually two Spanish words put together, which literally means to look at the ocean. We're on a beautiful hilltop, and one of our technical areas is in horticulture, and our area is well known for growing ornamental plants as well as flowers. So you'll see that when you visit our campus. We are located in a smaller community, what we'd call a suburban area, but have all the benefits of living in a culturally rich region in Southern Cal with access to food and entertainment and activities that people travel all over the world to enjoy. MiraCosta international students choose MiraCosta because of our reputation for university transfer. So as each of us has mentioned, the guaranteed university transfers is really the key to community college success. So students know that when they begin at a community college, they're starting a path to their ultimate university goal. And we are that stepping stone. It is a very popular program, community colleges in the United States. In our state, in particular, California, we have 115 community colleges with over 2.8 million students attending. It is the largest public system of education in the US, and over 40% of the University of California students start classes at a community college. So this is kind of the pathway that we know to be successful here. We've already talked about the university associate degrees, and I wanted to also talk about short-term certificates. A lot of students come back to community colleges to retrain. Our certificates are somewhere between 1 to 2 years to complete, and it's a program that's designed to get people the technical skills to get a specific job or entry into a new field that might be for them. So for a lot of students who have completed a university degree, a community college does offer that bridge. Maybe they would like to retrain or have a new skill or prepare for some graduate education. And so this is a great way to practice the English and get those academic practice in English along the way. MiraCosta has a strength in the science and technology fields, and we're one of the few community colleges that does offer a bachelor's degree. So that's something you'll also find. They're quite limited. They tend to be also in our areas of expertise, meaning practical in nature. and designed to get people working skills. So we do offer a bachelor's degree in biotechnology and biomanufacturing. Last year, international students transferred to UCLA, UC Berkeley, UC San Diego State University, and Cal State San Marcos. MiraCosta has 14,000 students total and 150 international students from 30 different countries. So our beautiful ocean and mountain views from our campus and warm weather year round makes it a great spot for students to live and study.
Okay, great. Thank you very much for this very nice presentation. I myself learned a lot from from your presentation. So, but while accepting, so I see that we have questions from the audience. But before taking the questions, I want to ask. So we spoke about transfer agreements, and because this 2+2 education system is not common for many of our countries from this region, I want you to explain what is transfer agreements for students to understand it explicitly. Carol, maybe you will start, and then I will ask also others to have some comments if they have.
Yes, sure. I'd be happy to start with that. So many of our students come to us or come to a community college wanting to get a bachelor's degree. They know they want to study 4 years, they know they want a bachelor's degree, and they know that they want to save money. So they come to a community college, and all community colleges, not just St. Paul College, but certainly Olympic College, MiraCosta College, and all the other community colleges would have these. Uh, Sometimes they're called articulation agreements, sometimes they're called pathway programs, sometimes they're called guaranteed conditional admission. I won't get into the details of, exactly how those differ, but from your perspective, they're generally pretty similar. Um, and we have, like I said, 13 different universities where we have guaranteed conditional admission agreements. So that does mean that you will be required to do certain things. So maintaining a minimum grade point average or GPA. That varies from university to university, but for many of our partner universities, it's a 2.5 grade point average. You do have to take our English composition or English 101 or our basic English writing class and pass with a C grade or better. And then I have a minimum number of credits. Sometimes it's 26 credits, sometimes it's 40 credits, sometimes it's 60 credits. And then you are guaranteed admission into the university of your choice. A student can apply to St. Paul College, also pick a guaranteed conditional admission partner, and get a guaranteed conditional admission letter at the time of full admission to the community college. Present that to the visa officer, and that can help explain what their long-term academic goals are. However, you are not locked into attending that one university that you've picked. If you get to the United States and your plans change and you decide, well, I thought I wanted to go to this one university, but now that I'm here, I've discovered I want to go to a different university. You can do that. You can change your mind. You can go to a different university. But when we say 2+2, that means 2 years at a community college typically, or 60 credit hours, 2 years at a university, another 60 credit hours, and most bachelor's degree programs are 120 credit hours. So by having the guaranteed transfer admission, you know, and your parents know, that at least with meeting those minimum standards, usually a GPA and passing English composition with a C grade or better, you're guaranteed of being able to go to one of those universities.
Yeah, okay, thank you very much. What about you, Rachel? Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I think Carol summed it up very, very well. That is also the way that it operates at Olympic College. Basically, during the admission process, as you're applying, you get an option to choose from our list of partner universities. You can select one of those partner universities, and along with your admission letter to Olympic College, you would be provided with a conditional admission letter to that university. And as Carol mentioned, it's called a conditional admission letter because as long as you comply with the requirements of that university, normally it is about a 2.5 GPA and a few kind of basic classes that you would need to take, you would be guaranteed entry into that university. An additional thing I would add is sometimes with partner universities, they offer really great benefits to community college transfer students. Just to give you an example, we have some of our partner universities, they require a minimum of a 2.5 GPA. But if you have a higher GPA, if you have a 3.0 or a 3.5, some of our partners will actually provide automatic scholarships to those students. So, you might get a really great scholarship from one of our partner universities. Some of them provide scholarships, some provide in-state tuition, which means you would be paying the same tuition amount as a student that's from that state. So those are really great benefits as well that I would definitely recommend taking advantage of. It's one thing you're saving a lot of money during your time at community college, but then you can also actually use that to save money as well during your time at university.
Okay, thank you. And what about you, Mia?
I'll just add a couple things because I
Sure.
think it might help students and parents. Is that when you arrive to a community college, you're going to meet with an advisor, and it sounds like Carol's one of those wonderful, all-encompassing people. When you sit down with your advisor, you actually are going to map out that university goal. So you are taking the same university level classes as a student that's applying directly to the four-year university. And that is what the community colleges are offering is really the same level of education that has been mapped directly to a university. So we do look specifically at your major, what those universities are asking at that major. So even those partner institutions that we have and those guarantees that we have, we're going to make sure that you are following that plan so that when you arrive, you're at year 3. And then one other thought, because I've met quite a few students already today at the fair who are already attending a university,
Mhm.
right? So if you are in year 1 or year 2, you're really at the same level of education as our community college, right? So we're offering year 1 and year 2 of university. But there are still some advantages of the community college because our classes, as I said, map to that university. So we're going to take a look at the courses you've taken right now at your current university. And we're going to fill in the pieces, fill in those courses that the four-year university in America is looking for. So there are some advantages of making sure that you're at year 3 when you enter. And we like that because you're saving all that money and paying for the university only for the final 2 years. So I hope that helps.
Yes, sure. So it is very detailed. Thank you very much. Another question that I usually receive from our students, whether they can be accepted to community colleges while graduating bachelor and or master's degree.
Mhm.
So is it a possibility, let's say, when they want to change their major or they want to just start their education in the USA and they want to be sure that there is no language barriers or something like this? What do you think, Rachel?
Yes, absolutely. We often welcome students who have already earned a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in their home country. There are a few reasons students might want to apply to a community college after already earning one of these degrees at home. One, as you mentioned, in the English language. So we do have an intensive English program. So depending on your goals, you might want to improve on your English skills to, whether it's to apply then maybe to a master's program in the United States, or maybe to return to your home country and work in a field that requires English. So we do have students that will join us for the intensive English program, really, really improve their English, and then be able to use that to apply to, a bachelor's, a master's program, or return home and be able to use that English professionally. Another reason is the certificate programs. So we offer a lot of different kind of short-term certificates. Our certificates last anywhere from 3 months to a year. And there are all sorts of different types of certificates that we offer, everything from, information technology to business management, website development. So it might be that maybe you already have a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, but maybe you want to either change into a different career path or gain more specialized skills in a certain field. So for those certificate programs, you can, you can go into those programs and gain those skills regardless of what level of education you've already completed. And then the third reason is, maybe you want a career change. Maybe you're in your home country currently working, in the business sector, and maybe you decide that your real passion is nursing, or maybe it's psychology, or maybe you want to start your own business. If you do want to change to a different career path, earning a 2-year degree in the United States could be a great way to jumpstart that educational journey when you decide that you want to switch. So there are a lot of different reasons, but we do often welcome students that have already earned a bachelor's degree or a master's degree, and decide to pursue their education at Olympic College.
I see. Thank you. Carol, what do you think those having bachelor or master's degree, do they have some advantages or they treat equally as those like from just after the high school at your college?
Yeah, so everything that Rachel said, I would agree with. So, for example, and I'll just give you some examples. So, I had a student who already had her bachelor's degree from her home country, and she came to St. Paul College to study early childhood development, which is one of our associate degree programs, and it does come with the early childhood teaching certification. So she was able to get a course by course credential evaluation from her home country. She was able to transfer in some of university credits from her home country, so she did not have to take the whole 60 credit hours for our associate degree. She earned her associate degree. She got OPT, optional practical training. She's working right now in early childhood development, and she's in the process of applying for master's programs in education at various universities in the United States. So she came to us as that step in between her bachelor's degree from her home country and applying for a master's degree in the United States. And she's doubly taking advantage of it because of OPT. So she's really maximizing her benefits as an F1 student. Just one other example is I've had several students, and Mia already mentioned this, but I have students who already have their bachelor's or master's from their home country. They apply to a master's program in the United States. That master's program, that university tells them, we will conditionally admit you if you complete these prerequisite courses. So, for example, I've had students that have applied to a master's in pharmacology, a master's in physical therapy, a master's in occupational therapy. And that university knows exactly the courses they have to take. They have to take, and this is just an example, um, English composition, general biology, anatomy and physiology 1 and 2, general psychology, psychology through the lifespan. So they come to me, they apply since we're rolling admission. They've applied to that master's program months and months ago. Then they apply to the community college that's maybe nearby or close by, but it doesn't necessarily have to be. They take those prerequisite courses for either 1 or 2 semesters, depending on what that university says, and then they transfer. Their CVIS record is transferred to the university so they can move on to their master's program.
Yeah.
So those are just 2 specific examples for you.
Yeah, sure. To better understand how can community colleges help to international students, and basically this should be my another question about the prerequisites, but you answered them. So I see we have a question about don't having Armenian passport to travel. Since I am here as an Education USA advisor from Armenia, please contact to me, and we will have I will describe you all the peculiarities how you can travel to the US, and of course you cannot travel without passport, but I don't want to take the time and to delve into details. But please, after the fair, contact Education USA Armenia and me specifically, and you will get questions to the answer. Another answer to the question. Another question that we have is about OPT, whether 12-month certificate program gives OPT options. So what do you think? And please also explain our students what is OPT.
Mhm. Excellent. I,
So yeah, I go ahead.
I'm happy to answer. Yes, I can tell you that we do have students completing a certificate who have applied and received optional practical training. And it is a benefit awarded to F1 visa students. So that would be most of you coming with your passports, applying for the F1 visa that allows up to 12 months of practical experience related to the field that you study in the United States. So when you're choosing your program in the US, you are choosing a program that you would be studying for a minimum of 1 academic year, which is typically 9 months. You would be submitting an application to the US government, who then would provide documentation to allow you to practice what you have learned in the class in a work environment. And I think Carol made some great examples of that, people retraining and people completing a program. This is a fabulous way to then practice that in the US.
Ladies, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so definitely OPT is a huge benefit of being in the United States on an F1 visa. Another great benefit of attending a community college is that you actually will get multiple opportunities to complete OPT. For example, if you take advantage of the 2+2 program, you can complete OPT for 1 year after you graduate with your associate degree. And then after you transfer to university and complete your bachelor's degree, you can then complete OPT for 1 additional year. So the benefit of OPT is that you get to complete it at each level of your degree. So an associate degree is one level, bachelor's degree is another level. So that's 2 years that you could be working and getting practical experience in your field that you can then put on your resume and use to advance your career once you return home. The difference is if you go straight to university and you get a 4-year bachelor's degree, that would be 1 degree level. So you would be able to complete OPT one time after you get your bachelor's degree. So a lot of students, take advantage of that opportunity to actually do OPT 2 times when they do both community college and university. So that's just another really great benefit that I wanted to mention of choosing a community college.
Okay, thank you. Carol, I believe you also provide OPT option for students to continue their education. Is there anything to add?
We do provide OPT. We do provide assistance with applying for OPT. I know that was one of the questions, but I don't know of a single community college that doesn't. So, I mean, I think we all provide whoever the international student office is or the international student advisor would be helping the F1 students in that semester prior to graduation, apply for OPT. It's a $410 fee that does have to be paid to the U.S. government. There is an application. There's a paper version and an online version. I'm personally like the online version because it all keeps it together and you can look it up. Um, you have to provide documents, which are easy to get. Again, the International Student Services Office would help you with that. And then you do get that card, that employment authorization document card, or EAD card. Um, if one of the questions is about getting certificates versus
Mhm.
associates. So for us, we would help a student apply for OPT after an associate's degree. So if a student is able to transfer in some transfer credits from their home university, then it would be less than 2 years and it would be less than 60 credits. And then as long as you are in the US and F1 status for 2 full semesters, then you are eligible to apply for OPT.
Okay, thank you. I see that we have many questions about the OPT. Just wanted to let you know that we have another session about optional practical training and available options after graduating US college or university. Please attend this session also, and you will get many useful information. Now, I wanted to ask about scholarships or financial aid because this is I guess, the question that you will receive at your booths, and we have also here a question about whether scholarship or financial aid is available for international students at community colleges. So, what do you think, Maya? We cannot hear you. You are muted.
Sorry, I
It's
just
okay.
unmuted. Did not type it enough. I can tell you, my community college does not have scholarships for new students. So students arriving to my school would be paying their tuition for the first year. But I would imagine, like almost every community college in the U.S., our college itself does have scholarship competitions. And what is that? That's an application that students submit each year to be considered for scholarships. So we award between $500 and $2,000 per student applying. It's a competition. We award about $500,000 worth of scholarships. So it's quite a bit of money that's given away every year. So that is something somebody could look forward to. In terms of money, because this comes up on my booth a lot, tuition is just like Rachel said, for me, it's just under $10,000 per year. So that scholarship can cover a little bit of that. But unfortunately for Southern California, it is our living expenses that are the most expensive part of living here. And so the scholarships that we offer would not compensate for that kind of cost to live in the US. So that's how it works here in my school.
Okay, thank you. And how it works at your school, Rachel?
Yeah, it's very similar to what Mia described. Unfortunately, we don't have scholarships for incoming students. So you would need to wait until you're actually at Olympic College to start applying. We have a foundation. It's called the Olympic College Foundation. They also offer, about $500,000 in scholarships to students every single year. So, we have workshops for our international students about how to apply for those scholarships. It involves submitting an application. Usually you need to write an essay, and it is competitive. So, based on kind of your academic record and the other activities that you're involved with around campus, you may be fortunate to receive a partial scholarship, and that can help cover some of your costs while you're at school. I wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to depend on scholarships to fully fund your education, but it can provide a little bit of extra support, for, maybe paying your rent at an apartment, maybe helping to buy some books, things like that. Another thing that I like to tell students is that because the cost of community college is so low compared with university, I would recommend to students comparing the total cost of their education. So for example, if you are looking at a university and the cost is $30,000 per year in tuition, and they're offering a $10,000 scholarship, that's a lot of money. That sounds like a great scholarship, and it is. But you're still going to need to fund about $20,000 then of your tuition yourself. Versus, at a community college, you might not be getting a scholarship, but the cost is less than $10,000 per year. So, I would just recommend comparing all of the different costs that you would be spending for your education. Ask the college and university representatives about tuition costs, and also ask them about the full cost. What are living expenses like? What is housing cost? What is transportation? So that way you can get a really good idea of the expenses that you're going to have during your time in the United States, and you can prepare accordingly before you arrive.
Thank you. Carol, what about you?
So very similar. We do not offer any full ride scholarships or 100% scholarships. We also don't offer any scholarships for new incoming students. But like Rachel just said, St. Paul College also has a St. Paul College Foundation where we raise private money for scholarships. International students are eligible to apply for these private foundation scholarships starting their second semester. So for us, it is their second semester. Students can apply every semester after their second semester. So for us, it's actually 3 times a year. It's fall, spring, and summer after your first semester. And our scholarships range from $500 to $1,500 per student. And we give approximately a little over $300,000 every year in scholarships. And I've been tracking with our foundation the number of international students specifically that apply to the scholarships or complete the application, and the students that get the scholarship. And for us, it's about half of our international students that do apply get the scholarship. Now, it is competitive, there's no guarantee, but half or 50% chance is actually pretty good.
It is.
And again, it's based on your GPA, your essay, and your letter of recommendation. So we do require a letter of recommendation from a St. Paul College faculty or staff. So you need to get here to get to know somebody. Oftentimes I write these letters for students, and it's actually one of the most fun things I do. I love writing my scholarship recommendation letters, but that's how it works for us.
Yeah. So thank you very much. So we have just a couple of minutes, and I know that you introduced this during your introductory speech, but we have questions also. So I wanted to go very briefly about the admission requirements. So please, can you give us very brief admission requirements and the deadlines at your university, at your college, for students to figure out their next steps? So Rachel.
Sure, absolutely. So we do have an online application. It can be completed fully online. You can upload all of the required documents. You don't have to mail anything in or send in any original documents. So the required documents to apply to Olympic College are, number one, a copy of your passport. Since you will be traveling to the United States, it's required to have a passport before you travel. We would also require a bank statement. And the reason for that is, we mentioned the cost of studying in the United States. It is a requirement of the F-1 visa that you have the funds to support your education in the United States for at least one academic year. So we would require a bank statement from either yourself or the person who's going to be supporting your education, whether that's one of your parents, whether that's a family member, a sponsor, a family friend. And if it is going to be somebody else sponsoring your education, we would just require a letter. It's called an affidavit of support. It's basically a letter from that person saying that they will support your education during the time that you're in the United States. We would also ask for any high school transcripts that you have previously, or a certificate of graduation or diploma if you've already graduated from high school. Since we do have a high school completion program, that's not required. If you haven't graduated from high school already, that's totally fine. We would just ask for the transcripts that you have already obtained from your high school. We also have a $50 USD application fee that can be paid by credit card or wire transfer. And then additionally, English proficiency. As I mentioned, we don't require English proficiency since we do have an intensive English program. If you do want entry directly into the academic program, we do have some minimum TOEFL and IELTS scores. For example, for entry into the academic program, it's a minimum TOEFL score of 61, a minimum IELTS score of 5.5. And, we have different types. So we also accept Duolingo. There's a few different English tests. So you're welcome to contact me if you have specific questions about English proficiency scores or application requirements. Oh, and in terms of, I'm sorry, in terms of application deadlines, we are in the quarter system at Olympic College, which means we have 4 academic quarters per year. We have 4 intakes per year as well for international students. So, you can apply in the winter, spring, summer, or fall. So, there's lots of different opportunities to apply and gain admission to Olympic College.
This question, Rachel, will come from me as an Education USA advisor because it interests me. What are the grades that high school students can apply to Olympic College if they want to complete the high school study program?
The like what grade would they need to
Yes.
have completed? So it actually doesn't really matter the grade. They just need to be at least 16 years old once they enter their studies at Olympic College. So typically that's grade 10 or 11, but there's no grade requirement. It's just the age requirement of being at least 16 years old when they begin their studies.
Okay, thank you very much. Maya, what you will add?
It was a perfect. Rachel did a great job. I'm just going to mention because the deadlines come up quite a bit. Community colleges generally are rolling admissions, meaning you can apply anytime. And what about deadlines? We call them priority because we believe that we have enough time to prepare the documents you need. So I would honestly, and this all depends on your country and what's going on at the US Embassy where you are, I always think of a 2-month minimum time frame between completing your application and expecting to begin your education. So that to me is what I consider the minimum amount of time for a student's preparation.
Okay, thank you. Carol, anything to add?
Yep. So we do have an online application. It is free. We do not charge an application fee. We do require proof of English language proficiency, and we have 2 different levels for that. We have for the associate degree level, and we also have an intensive English language training program. We call it our English for Academic Purposes program, which is a lower requirement. We don't start at the beginning level. We start at what we call the high intermediate level. So a student does have to have a little bit of English to start in that program. We do require the financial certification statement and the bank statement. For us, it's a US 24,000. And then the copy of the passport, copy or scans of high school or secondary school academic records. And we have an F1 International Student Agreement form, which a student signs, which just explains their responsibilities. And that's it. So we do not require SAT scores, ACT scores, essays. And like I said, we do not charge an application fee. And what Mia said is correct about the minimum of 2 months of time frame, although I am always on the State Department visa wait times website and I'm looking up cities all the time, and depending on which city you're in, then it might be longer than that. That's not our process, that's the US Embassy's process.
Okay, thank you very much. So I see that you received many questions about your website is not being available for students from the Russia and many personalized questions. So guys, this is perfect time for you. After this session, go to the specific booth of the colleges and ask your specific questions. So our representatives of colleges will wait you there, and we have a lot of university and college representatives awaiting you for your great questions. And just wanted to say that please note that this type of webinar is just an addition to our great Education USA fair. Please take your time, navigate the platform, find the university and college that you are interested in, ask your questions either in in a group chat or in a private chat, and I believe our great representatives will be very happy to answer those questions. So, guys, if you have any final notes just to wrap up our session, please, Mia, you can start.
I just want to thank you all for your time and great questions. So do come visit us in the booth. We can answer very specific questions, and thank you.
Thank you. Carol?
Yes, so Inna and all of the Education USA staff and advisors, students, parents that have come, this has been a great experience, a great fair. As soon as I click out of this, I'm going to click back into my booth and I'll be right there. So come and visit me.
Sure. Rachel?
Yeah, just thank you so much for all of your time. We've really enjoyed getting to see all the great questions from students. You all asked really, really good questions, and I've really enjoyed getting to speak with you. Thank you, Anna and Education USA, for hosting this. And yeah, as Carol and Mia said, we're here in the booth, and we would love to talk to you. So just hop on over to our booths and say hi.
Thank you very much. Have a good rest of the day. Bye.